Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to discuss that how we can sort an array having zeros, ones and twos. So we need to sort an array in such a way that zeros are at the start, ones in the middle and twos at the end. So this problem is also known as Dutch national flag problem because each number basically correspond to one of the colors in the flag. So for example 0 is let's say given as red, 1 to white and 2 to blue. So when we sort an array having zeros, ones and twos, zeros are at the start, ones are at the middle and two are at the end. So therefore this problem is also known as Dutch national flag problem. So in this problem we are given an array containing only zeros, ones and twos. So let's say if we take this example, we have 0, 1, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. So these are currently random numbers, and when we actually sort them we get 0 at the start, 1 in the middle and 2 at the end. So it looks like Dutch national flag like this. Now our task is to sort the array in O of n time complexity and O of 1 space complexity. Because if we sort this array using the language specific sort method, then the time complexity will be n log n. But as we know that there are only three types of numbers, zeros, ones and twos, we can leverage this idea and achieve O of n time complexity. So let's see how. So friends, before we start the discussion, in case if you are new to my channel, then please subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so that you never miss any update. So friends, here you can see that this is the piece of code which actually does the sorting in O of n time. Here we have one while loop which does all the trick. So in this video, in order to demonstrate at a high level that how this algorithm works, I have just mentioned the code here. In our next video, we will see the demonstration of this code step by step. So let's see at a high level how this algorithm will work. Now for example, we are given an array of 7 elements from index 0 to 6 and the numbers are zeros, ones and twos. So 2, 0, 2, 2, 0, 1, 1. Now we need to sort this array in such a way that zeros are at the start, ones in the middle and twos at the end. So this is start, this is middle and this is end. So friends, the basic idea behind this algorithm is we actually use 3 pointers, which is I, J and K. So here in this algorithm, each pointer has a special task to perform. So at the start, I starts from 0, J starts from 0 and K starts from the last index. So I starts from 0, J starts from 0 and K starts from the last index. Now here you can see that after that we are providing a while loop where the condition we are providing is I should be less than equal to K. So here I is our main pointer which will actually traverse the array in this direction, and when it traverses in this direction, K also traverses in this direction, and this loop will go till I is less than or equal to K. So once I crosses K, this while loop will terminate and our array will be sorted in zeros, ones and twos format. So here the I is our main iterator of the array. Now its main job is, here we can see at the start we have to provide zeros, in the middle ones and at the end twos. So whenever I will encounter 0, let's say here it is encountering 0. So we know that we have to throw 0 to the start. So basically when 0 will be encountered, it will be thrown to J, and whatever value J will hold, it will come at the place of I. So zeros will be at the start and J will help us in achieving that. When 2 will be encountered, I will throw 2 to end, and to the end we have K. So it will throw it to the K and take its value to the ith index. So this will achieve this part. When I will encounter 1, it will do nothing. It will simply traverse ahead because 1 is already in the middle. So this is the crux of the algorithm, that we have 3 pointers and 3 numbers. When I will encounter 0, it will swap that number with j. When I will encounter 2, it will swap it with k. And when I will encounter 1, it will just move ahead and keep 1 at that position only. So here you can see at the start the numbers are in unsorted form. So we usually draw 4 regions like this. One region is for zeros, other region is for ones, and the third region is for twos. And one region is just to mark which are the unknown elements till now or unvisited elements till now. So at the start all the elements are unknown, so they are marked as unknown, and their range is from I to k. So from I to k. So every number is unknown. So every number has tick. Now slowly when I will move ahead, it will try to encounter these numbers and try to explore them. So these tick will come in these 3 regions, marking for the zeros, ones and twos. At the start from I to k, all numbers are unknown. From start, which is the 0th index, to j minus 1. So j is actually pointing to 0 index. If we do minus 1, we'll reach here. So currently there is no such area or range. From j to I minus 1, j to I minus 1, which is also unknown area. From k plus 1 to end, which is the last index. So if we do k plus 1, we'll go out of this. So this is also the unknown area. So at the start all the elements are unknown and all the regions are unfilled. Now we'll slowly move ahead and try to fill each and every region. So let's see how we can remove this unknown elements and fill the zeros, ones and twos. And one thing to remember, zeros, ones and twos will be filled in a proper order. Zeros at the start, ones in the middle and twos at the end. So we'll see it later here. So here you can see at the start array of I is 2. So this condition is false. This condition is also false. And this condition is true because array of I is equal to 2. So now what I will do, here we saw that whenever I will encounter 2, it will simply swap 2 with the value which k is holding or index k is holding. So when we will do swap, so 2 and 1, which is being referred by I and k, in the swap method we will simply swap them. So 1 will come here and 2 will come here. So here our one task is done successfully, that we have placed 2 at its proper position here. So 1, 2 is at its proper position, and we know that when this while loop will run, one element has become known now. And which is that element which has become known? It's this, that 2 is at its correct position. Also friends, as we have filled this position, we will move k to this direction, because for the other 2, which is here for example, it should come here, right? So k will move to this position and it keeps on moving in this position as many as 2's are encountered, because we need to swap 2 with the value of the kth index. So we do k minus minus. So k comes here. Now here you can see as k is here, we know that from k plus 1 to the last index we have 2. So here we will see this range at every moment of this while loop, and we will figure out that where this tick will go. So if you see here k plus 1 is this index to the last, to the end, which is the same index. We have to mark 2's because one number is known. So this tick will go away and this tick will come here, which says that from I to k still the numbers are unknown and only one number was known, which is placed at its correct position, we have provided tick here. Now here one thing to notice, when we do this swap, 2 will come here, and at this position there could be 0, 1 or 2, any of the 3 number. So we are not sure which number is actually getting swapped here. So I will be at the same position only. We will only move k. So this is the one difference. So in the next iteration of while loop, here you can see, now this condition will be false and this condition will be true because area of I is 1. So we discussed, when we encounter 1, we will simply move ahead because 1s will be in the middle. So we will simply increment I. So I will come here, and as I will come here you can see that unknown is from I to k, which is this portion now, because this number is known. From start to j-1 we have zeros, so j is still here, j-1 is out of this area. From j to I-1 we have to mark 1, so j to I-1, which is this part, we have to mark 1. So this element is known, so it will go away and mark will come here, because we have found 1 and we have placed at its correct position in this range. So these ranges are important. It will help us in traversing the array and also relocating the values of zeros, ones and twos. Moving ahead. Now here you can see array of I is 0. So this condition will come out to be true. So here we have discussed that whenever I will encounter 0, it will throw it to j and take its value. So here 0 and 1 will be swapped by this method. 0 comes here, 1 comes here. So here you can see now 1 has actually changed its position. Initially 1 was here, we have marked here. Now 1 has actually changed the position. Then what we will do? We will increment I and j both. So why we are incrementing I? Because here we saw that whenever we encounter I as 1, we simply move ahead. And if you see this range, 1 is always one step behind the I. So range is from j to I-1. So whenever I will point to 1, it will simply move ahead. So this is the range, that 1 is one index behind the I. So we will do I++ and j++. So why we are doing j++? Because we have placed 0 at its correct position. Now another 0 should come here. So we are doing j++. So j comes here. And now if you again look into this ranges from I to k, these are still unknown. And one number is known, which we placed here. And we took 1 and placed here. So from start to j-1, we have zeros. So one tick will come here because we have identified 1 0. So this will go away. It will come here. And also here you can see that from j to I-1, this portion is actually our 1. So now this tick will go away and it will come here. Because we have swapped 0 and 1. So 0 is now at the start, 1 is in the middle and 2 is at the end. And in the middle we have unknown elements. So this is how this algorithm works. Let's see further iterations. Now array of I is 2. So this condition comes out to be true. So we know that what we need to do. We need to simply swap this value with k. So 1 will come here and 2 will go there. 1 comes here, 2 goes there. And then we will decrement k. Because the next 2 value should come here. So this position is filled and one more number is now known. So if we mark again from k plus 1 to end, we will mark 2. So k plus 1, this range will be marked as true. So this tick will go away and there will be one tick here. In the middle we have unknowns. Also friend, one more thing, that here why we are moving I when array of I is 0 and we are not moving I when array of I is 2, because when we are swapping it with array of k, we don't know what value it will be. It can be 0, 1, 2, any value. But when we are swapping it with array of j, which is here, we are sure that there will be only one single value 1, because we have started traversing I from the middle, and whenever we are encountering 2, we are throwing it here, and whenever we are encountering 1, we are simply moving I ahead. So we are leaving 1 behind, so that will be the only value which will be swapped. So therefore it makes no sense to keep I in the same place, so we move I also with it. But here we don't know whether it's 0, 1 or 2 which is being swapped, so therefore we are keeping I at the same place. So now in this iteration, array of I is 1, which is this condition, so we simply move I ahead. I comes here, this element is known because 1 should be in the middle, so this thing will go away because unknown is from I to k, and I to k is this range. This element is known, we have to put this element here from j to I minus 1, j to I minus 1, which is these two numbers. So one tick comes here. Now in the next iteration, array of I is 2. So what we do is we simply swap and move k in this direction. So we are simply swapping 0 and 2. So 0 comes here and 2 comes here. And then we are decrementing k, because we have filled 2 at its proper position. So we are moving k here. So k comes here. This element is known. It will go away. And it will come here. Because from k plus 1 to end, we have to provide 2. So these are 2's. K plus 1 to end. Now only one element is unknown. So in the next iteration, I is still equal to k and array of I is 0. So we'll simply swap this 0 with the jth element here. So 0 comes here, 1 comes here. This is the proper place of 0. So we increment j. And as we have placed 1 here, we have also seen that whenever we encounter 1 at the ith position, we simply move ahead. So we are also moving I ahead. So I comes here and j comes here. So now every element is known. So this tick will go away. And where this tick will come? It will come here, because we have just placed 0 at its correct position. So we'll mark this as true. And as we have swapped 0 and 1, so this tick will go away and it will come here. So it would look something like this. So now if we match the range, we will see that unknown are from I to k. So I has actually crossed the boundaries. So every element is known now. So it's blank. From start to j minus 1. This is start. This is j. Minus 1 will reach here. So this is actually our zeros, which is being marked properly. From j to I minus 1, we have marked ones. So j to I minus 1. So this is the place for ones. We have marked it properly. From k plus 1 to end, we have marked 2. So k is here. K plus 1 is this. To end, we have all the 2's, which is what we have ticked here. So friend, this is how this algorithm works. Basically, we need to keep the track of 3 pointers. I is actually doing main work. It is encountering different values at different positions. When it encounters 0, it swaps it with j. When it encounters 2, it swaps it with k. And when it encounters 1, it does nothing, it simply moves ahead. So you need to go through this algorithm few times to understand how these regions are getting plotted and how these zeros, ones and twos are actually segregated that way. In our next video, We will actually see the detailed demonstration of this algorithm step by step. But to demonstrate this in high level, I have just used these regions so that when we encounter this algorithm step by step, we can directly come to know that which element is where. So friends, I hope you must have liked this video. In case if you are new to my channel, then please subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so that you never miss any update. Thanks, have a nice day.